Walker Buehler was an absolute mess tonight against the Chicago Cubs, and yet another bad start from Walker Buehler, who has just had a tough season to say the least. Hey, it's Mike Nelson of Dodgers Digest. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the almost 13% of the ones that are watching these videos who have already hit the subscribe button. But 86% of you, the ones that are watching, have not hit that subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe. It really goes a long way. You know, me and Brad J are bringing you awesome, everyday Dodger content, so you just don't want to miss out. We're the best Dodgers channel out there. Let's get right into it. The Dodgers, of course, lose today 10-4 against the Chicago Cubs. But the big story, I was already jumping to the next slide because I really wanted to get into it, was, of course, Walker Buehler. Wow. This was really tough to watch, to say the least. You know, giving up 9 hits tonight, getting charged with 5 runs. Got his 5th run. Of course, he was no longer on the field. He got a relief. Banda came in, and that run was, of course, charged to Buehler. But wow, I mean, this was just so tough to watch, to say the least. I mean, I don't know what the Dodgers are going to do with Walker Buehler. The Dodgers have a serious issue on their hands because, as we know, that last start he had was, pretty formidable. But, looking at his numbers, that he's had in, the last few starts, if we take a look at that, it just hasn't been very good. If you take a look, just brought it up right now, the slide. His last start, was pretty solid, giving up a couple hits. A couple runs. And, before that, it just doesn't look good for Walker Buehler. And just taking a look at these numbers, it's not something that really is really, giving you confidence that Walker Buehler is something the Dodgers are going to be able to depend on come playoff time. Because that's exactly what the Dodgers are doing right now. They're trying to figure out which pitchers they're going to be able to rely on come October. Because this is what it's all about. Andrew Friedman was interviewed live during the Dodgers broadcast today for Spectrum Sports in LA. For those of you that were watching the game on the Dodgers feed today, and he was very honest about what's going on with the Dodgers. He feels the Dodgers have the potential to win a World Series. Right now, this time of year, it's all about figuring out, trying to get healthy was something that he mentioned. That's what the Dodgers are trying to do right now, trying to get healthy and trying to get ready for the playoffs, because he feels that all the pieces are there for them to win the World Series. And I think us fans can agree with Andrew Friedman in that sense. This team can win the World Series, and does Walker Buehler really fit into this? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Do you see Walker Buehler pitching in game, I'm not going to say Game 7 in the World Series, but can he pitch in Game 4 when the Dodgers are up 3-0 or they're up 2-1 or down 2-1? Can he pitch in Game 4? I mean, that's the question I think everybody has, ourselves and in the Dodgers organization. Can they really rely on this guy in a high-pressure situation with the way it's going? Not just statistically, just the body language out there. It just doesn't look like the regular Walker Buehler. Where is Walker Buehler? That's what I want to know. What happened to, the confident Walker Buehler that we used to see, week in and week out? Where is it? I mean, where is that Walker Buehler? I think everybody is wondering that right now, because we're just not seeing that, looking at his stats that he of course had tonight against the Chicago Cubs. And just like I mentioned, the body language is just not the same. Doesn't look as confident. There were some comments on social media, you don't want to speculate. Is Walker Buehler really 100% right now? I think that's what I'm starting to wonder. Is Walker Buehler really 100%? And probably the answer is no. I mean, probably the answer is yes, I should say. He is not 100% most likely. Just the way the body language looks and the way he's pitching out there, it just doesn't look good right now, and you're just not confident that Walker Buehler can be a part of the playoff roster, right? That's what I think everybody is really concerned about. Can Walker Buehler really be somebody that Dodgers can rely on come playoff time? And it just didn't look good tonight against the Chicago Cubs, against a team that's not very good. Start off, Cody Bellinger hitting a 2-run homer in the first inning. It just really, right from the get-go, it was a bad start, to say the least. And, boy, this was really tough to watch. And something else I wanted to kind of jump on tonight let's talk about the bullpen. The bullpen looked tired. Look at the stats tonight. Nick Ramirez, one of the new players for the Dodgers, didn't pitch very well. Anthony Banda was not what you want to see. So I'm gonna have to say the bullpen, gonna have to give it a C or D grade tonight. Was not really where you want it, right? Was not at all the kind of level that you want from your bullpen pitchers. That it's just unfortunate the Dodgers are dealing with this still. They had a really great, of course, bullpen outing just a few days ago when the whole bullpen had to chip in and give the Dodgers a much needed outing, right, in a game that the Dodgers won on Saturday. And then yesterday got lucky with Jack Flaherty having an amazing start, but the bullpen looks tired, and that is just not good at all, to say the least. And you start to wonder, do the Dodgers have enough arms set up for the playoffs right now? I was, of course, reading online about, what's going on right now with the National League West and how that's going to be something that, of course, the Dodgers are going to be, thinking about the rest of the way. And, the honest truth is the Dodgers have it set up for them to win this division. The Padres and D-backs were off today. Padres, of course, gained half a game on the Dodgers since with the Dodgers lost, 5.5 back. D-backs are now 6 back, gaining a half a game as well. But, the way it's set up right now, I mean, basically the Padres or the D-backs, either or, are going to have to, all of a sudden just turn it on and go on a crazy winning streak, play almost perfect baseball. And the Dodgers are, set up to play 500 ball and win the division, basically. So the division is basically a wrap for the Dodgers, in my opinion. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like the division is almost a wrap for the Dodgers, especially after this weekend. The Padres losing 2 out of 3 against San Francisco. The D-backs losing 2 out of 3 against the Astros, and the Dodgers taking 2 out of 3 against the Guardians. Dodgers won 2 out of 3 this weekend. So just that alone, this late in the year, just doesn't bode well for the teams that are trying to catch the Dodgers in the standings. And the Dodgers have to see that as well, that their division, that they have to kind of play this differently, I think, the next few weeks. Not the same situation as it was going into Labor Day weekend, with the D-backs being only 4 back and now having a chance to potentially tie the Dodgers. That's gone. That situation, that opportunity is past for these teams. Maybe the Padres have that opportunity the last week, but it's unlikely. That opportunity is gone. The Dodgers have a situation now where they just have to try to get healthy, try to play 500 baseball, which is not a problem for this team. They got the talent. They got the players. They got Ohtani, who once again made history again. Ohtani becoming the first 25-25 player, basically getting 25 home runs, 25 stolen bases at home or away. First player to do that in Major League history. On his way, of course, to 50-50, but kind of a cool stat. He's the first guy to do 25-25, whether at home or away. So Dodgers have everything in place to play 500 baseball and win the division. That's what we have to focus on. I just almost knocked over my microphone, but that's okay. I'm still here. You can still hear me, hopefully. But that's what the Dodgers have to focus on in the next few weeks, that, they can play 500 baseball, win the division. They don't have to go crazy. Don't have to, stress themselves too much. Obviously you can't lose all the games. Got to try to win tomorrow. Got to try to get at least one game out of every series, and if possible, 2. And that's how you do it. Dodgers are going to be okay, and we're going to be fine. Walker Buehler, I don't know. We got a serious problem. Hopefully he can turn it around. If not, there's always next year for Buehler. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Let's go Dodgers.